Hello and welcome. In this video, we'll tear down this pilot operated 4-way pneumatic valve that is found in Invacare oxygen concentrator models such as the PerfectO2. This valve assembly consists of two main sections, the main valve section and the manifold section. The pilot valve is located on the manifold assembly and is basically a solenoid valve that controls the main 4-way pneumatic valve, which is a Lexroth air control splitter valve. The main valve can be separated from the manifold assembly by unscrewing the 4 mounting screws securing the two together. This is the main valve assembly and this is the manifold assembly. Over here is a solenoid valve, which is the pilot valve. These two are the supply ports to the sieve beds, while this is the common exhaust. Corresponding to these ports, we have these port orifices at the bottom of the manifold. The ones on either end correspond to the exhaust ports of each sieve bed, while next to them we have the feed ports to each of the beds, while the middle one corresponds to the pressurized air inlet. Now let us look at the pilot valve. The valve can be separated from the manifold by firstly unlocking the lock nut on top of the valve, and secondly by using a flathead screwdriver to unscrew the valve stem from the assembly of the manifold. This is the plunger. It is the sealing component that controls the opening and closing of the pilot airflow path. Over time, it may leak or show signs of visible wear or damage and should be replaced. Inside the manifold opening, there is an O-ring that should be replaced over time as it may lose effectiveness due to wear. This right here is the O-ring. There are also two orifices, with the middle one being the pilot orifice that is opened or closed by the plunger to open an airflow path to supply pilot pressure to the pilot piston through another small orifice on the side. During reassembly, make sure that the O-ring is installed in the manifold opening. The plunger should be installed at the bottom of the pilot valve stem with the tapered end facing down. This is the main valve, with this side being the manifold interface, which also has a gasket. This is the gasket. To access the internal components of this valve, you need to separate the two covers by pushing these 3 locking elements. You can see these 2 springs, and these are the springs that press against the metal plate. The springs provide a constant downward force, while the metal plate acts as a pressure retainer. This arrangement ensures consistent mechanical loading and sealing stability between the internal components. After removing the metal plate, the component you see forms part of the spool assembly. These sliding elements move over this metal plate surface to control the opening and closing of the air paths within the valve. Below this spool block, we have a gasket that can be replaced if worn out. This is the gasket. Lastly, there are these two ceramic plates. One of them is fixed, while the other is free to shift with the spool. Together, they control the opening and closing of the airflow paths by aligning or blocking internal ports. These components should be cleaned using suitable solvents such as denatured alcohol. Care must always be taken when handling these plates, as they are brittle and they can easily break if dropped. Located on each end cap of the main valve is a piston. The end cap can be removed by twisting it counterclockwise in 110. Next, you can pull out the piston from the cap. There is this gasket here, which can be replaced and lubricated during servicing. When replacing the end cap, ensure correct alignment by making sure that the small orifice on the end cap is aligned with the one on the end of the valve body. Now, let us look at the working principle of the valve. When the solenoid is energized, the pilot valve plunger is lifted. This opens the pilot valve. Air moves through the pilot orifice to the pilot piston that is connected to the valve through another small orifice in the manifold opening. This end of the valve becomes pressurized and the piston shifts the spool to one end, feeding one seat bed and exhausting the other. When the pilot valve is de-energized, the valve is closed and air is expelled to the atmosphere through a small orifice on top of the pilot valve. At this point, the return piston is under high pressure, so it pushes the spool back, feeding the opposite bed and exhausting the other bed. The timings of the switching are dependent on signals from the control board. These are all the components of the valve. Moving on, I will now reassemble the valve. This is all we had today. I hope you learned something new. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, bye.